Let me see if I can get my song to play.
Oh boy.
I have nothing.
Yep. So Whitney Houston's "I Have Nothing" pretty much says it all, Sandy.
Look, let me tell y'all something. We have to really be conscious of our actions while we are living, because it could make a tremendous difference in what our family is going to have to go through after we pass away. So I'm going to give you an example. Looking at what Rigo just said here, he said, now by chance, when you ladies have those estate planning seminar, is there documents that can perform the job or something to be filled out that the family member would have that information, because you can never get answers from a dead person? Well, here's the thing. If someone's already passed away, we have an inventory of items that we look through, right? We go down a list. Did they have real estate? Did they have vehicles? Did they have money in the bank? Did they have investments? Did they have retirement? Do they own any other types of things like digital assets? Folks who are YouTubers, did they have a YouTube channel? Was it monetized? Did they have social media channels? Were they monetized? Did they create other content in social spaces? And did they make money off of that? Did they have books? Did they have artwork? Were they a musician? You go down an endless list and you try to figure out what that person potentially had. And how you would figure out after someone passes away is, unfortunately, you have to kind of go through their stuff. When my aunt passed away, literally, I had some paperwork, but I wasn't sure if she had life insurance or not. So at that time, we had to go to her apartment like 5 or 6 deep. And we're going through paper, everybody. Creating stacks. All right, this is a stack of important documents. This is medical records. This is, bills. This is other stuff about her apartment. This is information about her doctors. This is information about, some other things that she has. And we had to create piles and put things in bags. And then when I found the life insurance, that was my first call. And then I saw some medical stuff. So that kind of gave me some idea, maybe this is what happened and why she ended up in the hospital. Then I found some other stuff. I was like, she might have had life insurance before. So I got to check and see if that policy is still valid. She has a bank account. I see bank statements. I see a checkbook. So now I have to start digging and checking all of those things, because if there is anything, we have to make sure that we figure out what is the avenue to get access to those things and who is the beneficiary or heir of those things. Did she have a will? Did she have these other things? So it's a lot of little things that you kind of have to dig into to figure out. Yeah. Lisa, Tracy's asking the question, can you talk a little bit about what happens when someone passes with a will versus without a will with regards to the process?
Yeah, well, I tell you, when someone dies with a will, the will specifies very clearly, or it should, who receives those assets. As Sandy was saying, there's a list. You can go down, if it's a house, car, property, that will is going to spell out who the beneficiaries are. The beneficiaries don't just have to be family members. It could be your friends. It could be a charitable organization. You can give your property to whom you will, but you list who those beneficiaries are, and you give it away. And a will is only effective upon your death. Now, if you have no will, then the state tells your representative who your property is going to, period. It could be someone you hated in your family line, someone that you haven't spoken to in 50 years, and that might be the person that ends up with all your stuff, okay? Because you did no planning whatsoever when you have no will. So that's the difference. Your heirs receive your property when you have no will. And if you have a will, you pick and choose who the beneficiaries are of your will. So that would be the basic distinction that I could give there. Sandy, you want to add anything to that?
I would say the most important thing is, with a will, your decisions are what matter. Without a will, we're now relying on state law, and that's what's going to matter. So it's important to recognize that, do you want your voice to be heard, or do you want the court to be heard?
Yep.
That's your option there.
It's either you make a choice or someone chooses for you. How about that?
I mean, that's the avenue.
Did you find our theme song for this show?
Hold on, I seem to be on a call. I was getting a call. You know, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I have to make sure. Yeah. So when Whitney says that you have nothing, she means it. But she said, I have nothing if I don't have you. So
Right.
the you in this equation for me is going to be your attorney, because you have to make sure that you align what your final intentions are, what your intentions are in the event that something happens to you, what your desires are for your assets. You
Yeah.
have to make sure that those align with the language that needs to be in the documents,
Yeah.
right? The documents themselves are not just based on just boilerplate language. Like, you don't just take a document and fill in some blanks. The document should be based upon what your desires are, what your intentions are, who you want your things to go to, whether you want to be buried or cremated, or, you know, whatever it is that you want. That is what your documents are for, whether it's the after death or whether it's the while I'm living and I become unable to handle my affairs.
Yeah.
So the big thing is, do you want your decisions to be put in place after your passing by creating your will and creating your power of attorney and your health care while you're living, um, or do you want someone else to make decisions for you?
That's, I mean, that's basically what it comes down to in terms of a will versus not having a will.